Saturday, it's the final of the Cup in Germany. Bayer Leverkusen, my boy Peter Bosz, against Bayern Munich. Jan, so on paper, Bayer Leverkusen beat Bayern earlier this season, right? And so, in fact, when they played them again towards the end, we thought we might have a title race. I thought, oh, look. And then
they got battered.
And then they got battered. Is it going to be different in a one-off game?
Well, let's hope so. I mean, for all of us that love German football, is sometimes this domination of Bayern Munich is massive, of course. A couple of years ago, my club, Eintracht Frankfurt, played Bayern Munich. And I remember did a lot of interviews for German papers, and I tried jokingly to say it's important for Eintracht Frankfurt not to underestimate Bayern Munich because they are better than we think and so on. And then they're ending up winning them. And I think what we can see in the Cup is not only a cliche, but for one game only, they will have a chance. But having said that, I mean, unbelievably impressed with what Bayern Munich have been doing lately. The way they're building the team at the moment is so unbelievable. But still, I think Leverkusen will play on that. At one game, like you said, they've beaten them before, and they can have a chance. The problem with Leverkusen is, of course, that tradition of I can be the first one who say Leverkusen that they will never again with the Champions League this year. Of course, Leverkusen miss out. I mean, and this culture they have to break. And what is a better thing to break in a DFB-Pokal finale?
If you were Peter Bosz, and obviously you're not, and you're more handsome and you've got more hair, but how would you approach that game, that final? Would you play on the counter? Would you try to have a lot of the ball and put them under pressure and press high? Do you play Kai Havertz? Do you play Kevin Volland and Havertz behind it? I don't know. What would you do?
And bear in mind, Jan, whatever you say will no doubt be more sensible than what Peter Bosz will do. And he'll probably do the opposite of anything you suggest.
Yeah. No, I think for a game like this is all about that mental part as well. Okay. The strategy is, of course, how he sets up his team is very, very important. But I think that it's important to tell his players that this is the easiest game you will have all season, because Bayern Munich will be the big favorites. If Bayern Munich will win 3-0, everybody will say, well, that was as planned. So there shouldn't be any pressure on Leverkusen. I can only speak for myself. I only feel I played for a national team in the 90s, and we were always the guy that we were never favorites playing into games. And some games when we lost and we didn't try, that we were too cautious, we were too careful. Then I had a feeling afterwards, it's okay to lose, but we didn't give it all. So as a part of putting players in, yes, I would put Volland in, yes, I would put Kai Havertz up there, and so on and so on. So I think if they're going to be trying to be cautious and careful with Bayern Munich, they will lose anyway. So why don't you just go for it and see? And then afterwards you will say, yeah, we went for it, we lost, fair enough, and okay, it's a new season coming on. I'm afraid that if Leverkusen go out and go very, very deep, at some time Müller will do something funny and assist, and Lewandowski will get a goal anyway. So why don't you just try it?
Let's talk about the guy who is probably, outside of Dortmund and Bavaria, the most exciting player in the Bundesliga, Kai Havertz. He missed their match in the league, and in fact, I think he missed both games in the league this season. No conspiracy there. Inevitably, like every talented young German, he's being linked to Bayern. In some ways, it's set up for a Disney ending where he single-handedly destroys Bayern, or even just beats Bayern, carries Peter Bosz to victory, and then announces, "Oh yes, I'm joining the evil empire."
Yes, but you remember many years ago there was a guy called Lothar Matthäus who were leaving Borussia Mönchengladbach, and there was a decisive penalty. Shooter was Lothar Matthäus. He missed that penalty, and then he went to Bayern Munich. So it's not always Disney ending on that, but I agree with you. This is always cup finals. This is time for heroes, and what would be better than that? And do I think Bayern could end up getting Kai Havertz? I think they could. I mean, the way they're doing, I've been very critical to Bayern Munich. There were times that I think they didn't go anywhere. They were taking players on loan, selling them in as like big superstars. And at the end of the day, there were people who don't even got into the squad of Real Madrid, like Rodriguez or Coutinho coming, sold in as in Messi in German football. But the way Bayern Munich is doing it now, I think it's so impressive. And after Leroy Sané, yes, they could get Kai Havertz, but let's hope we take them down, as Niko Kovac did as a coach for Eintracht Frankfurt when he was there, and then later joining them. So that would be a fantastic ending.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.